Good evening, friends. This side Rahul Magan here as Group Chief Executive Officer Treasury Consulting. Today is 17th January 2020. Before moving to our long video, which is so many pages to cover, there are three incidents which happened today. Number one, we got a negative reply on our YouTube video, which is that some student wrote that we called Rahul Magan and he said that if you wanted to talk to me, then it is subject to charges. Let me confirm one thing very clearly to everybody. Number one, Treasury Consulting is not a charitable company. Treasury Consulting is not Paytm, neither it is Ola, nor it is Uber. It is 100% profitable company, but we believe in sharing knowledge, we believe in updating people, and that is the reason we are putting these videos on YouTube. I don't know, you trust me or do not, it is 3 a.m. in the morning, 3 a.m. in the morning, and this video will take at least 40 to 45 minutes. We are a profitable company and we wanted to spread knowledge to let people know that these all things happening in the market. That is why we are shooting this video. There are humongous amount of private equity and venture capitalists we have in this world like Sequoia, BlackRock, Blackstone, Brookfield and all. They not even operate a single YouTube channel and not a single video they upload on the YouTube where they give the knowledge. But we sitting today is not even closer to them, but we still give knowledge. So it doesn't matter what you wrote on the YouTube because we don't worry. We upload video for masses, not for classes like you. No, we upload for classes, not for masses. And more importantly, one important thing you also need to understand that our consultancy charges will continue to grow on yearly basis. Every year we grew our consultancy charges. That is very clear. Second thing, today we got an email from a private equity player because yesterday night we uploaded a video about the digital banking license and he thanked us for uploading so many videos. We replied that whatever you saw on the YouTube is just a trailer. The video is yet to come. The main picture is yet to come. We will assure you that Treasury Consulting would be uploading so many videos in the next few years that we would continue to maintain our status of a channel, status as a channel whereby we are going to be talking about the truth. Third and very important thing. Somebody asked me that why so many newspapers we have on the desk? Sir, I believe in one thing. There are two sources you get knowledge. Number one is very good written books, and unfortunately a very good written books are very less nowadays, to be honest, and that is a hard reality, sir. Secondly, the only good thing you left is the magazines and the newspaper. I always read 2 business newspaper in a day, and if required then I started adding one more newspaper also, but currently I don't think this is required. Apart from that, I regularly read a lot of novels, books and all to keep myself updated. I don't know, but Zuckerberg read around 1 book per week. This is what I heard somewhere or I read somewhere on Facebook that he read about 1 book in a week. So practically he read around 51 to 52 books in an year, and I read roughly 10 to 15 books in a year. I strongly believe that reading updates your knowledge and reading makes you powerful. So always remember that Treasury Consulting is not a charitable institution, but having said that, unlike Ola, Uber and Paytm, we love spreading knowledge. In the next 20 years, you will never see that Vijay Shekhar Sharma, Sachin Bansal, Ritesh Bansal, Binny Bansal, they come in the public space and they talk about the knowledge. The only thing these people understood is the valuation. That's it, and that is what they are doing. let's move to the topic. So we uploaded two videos about our outlook on India about 2020, and majority of our outlook went true, to be honest, because today is 17th January 2019, and trust me that in this 17 days, there is a lot of action that has happened. And I would like to credit Indian media for one thing, is that the way they are disclosing knowledge. In fact, paid media is a cheap word for them. Because previously I was using a word called paid and sold media and incompetent media. But now I am 500% sure that they gone one level higher. And unfortunately, I don't have time to look at the dictionary to see that what word I can choose: paid, corrupt, and incompetent media. So I don't know. If you have any better word, put in the comment section of the video. I will start using that. I am watching from the last 17-18 days that the media is giving an image in such a way that the hard realities will come at the last part of the newspaper, which people do not read except idiots like me at 3 a.m. And apart from that, the good things about that company will come in the first part. That's what is happening. So this is what we're going to get discussed, which will take around 40 odd minutes. Number one, many congratulations to India, because on 16th December, there is another scandal happened in the wealth management. But don't worry, more scandals are on the way, and please be rest assured that CNBC, ET Now, Aaj Tak, Indian News, there's a channel called Bloomberg Quint, they will not cover that. Till now, I not saw a single episode on the Bloomberg Quint wherein they ask somebody to sit down and discuss that JP Morgan Chase is being asked by the court, Honorable Court, is being asked by the Honorable Court that they are involved in a fraud, and because of that, the court ordered Enforcement Directorate to attach their properties. I'm not talking about an Indian bank. I'm talking about a US based bank. JP Morgan Chase India properties are going to get attached soon by Enforcement Directorate, and this is not my order, this is the Honorable Court order. The reason is that in a Amarpali case, the Enforcement Directorate are having prime facie evidences that JP Morgan not only violated the FEMA guidelines, Foreign Exchange Management Act guidelines, but also manipulated the foreign exchange laws, and which ultimately led to the money laundering in the system. So one side, these banks maintain big departments, KYC, know your customer. When you go to these banks, they ask you so many documents about KYC. But can you ask one thing, KYB, know your bank? I personally acted as a corporate treasurer for American company. I know that they are having back office in Bangalore, they are having one office in Mumbai. And I'm not the only one who know these things. Millions and millions of the people worked in bank, they know all these things. So this is not confidential. The question is that none of the Indian media, ET Now, CNBC, NDTV Profit, and more importantly Bloomberg Quint, they not even spared 1 hour whereby they invited the people outside their so-called paid list, and they asked them, what is your opinion that why JP Morgan Chase is being asked by the court, whereby Enforcement Directorate is ordered to attach their properties. This is US bank. Historically speaking, Goldman, UBS, Barclays, HSBC, Deutsche, you name any bank, JP Morgan, they name any scandal and they not come. I don't have a data because my team bandwidth is very limited, else I love to collate the data these big banks paid historically since 2008, and in fact I love to collate data before 2008 also. But unfortunately I have no source. So the first thing is that a US based bank in India, which is JP Morgan Chase India, is being asked by the court, whereby they have ordered the enforcement directorate to attach their properties. There are three people involved in the Amrapali case. Number one, the JP Morgan Chase India. I am 200% sure, and in fact, I can even imagine the transaction they did with the Amrapali group, which is very common transaction, is FX, which is known as buy sell swap. I don't know whether you know or not, but there are buy sell swap is not all about equities. It's not all about FX, it's about equities also. But CFA, Certified Financial Analyst, FRM, Faltu Risk Management, and GARP, they do not teach you this. Don't worry about that, rest assured. If anyone can give me one page whereby in CFA, Certified Financial Analyst, FRM, Faltu Risk Management, will give only one page whereby FX, buy sell swap, how to get this done in equity markets, he will get 500 Sing dollars. Only one page you need to show wherein they have completely tell you that buy sell swap in the equity market done like that, which led to the money laundering. That's it. Third party who involved in is a cricketer. I don't want to name him publicly because he is very recently being excluded from the contract list of the BCCI. His wife's name came very often, and his name also came in IPL, which is Indian Premier League, right? A kind of 2020 format by BCCI, Board of Control of India. But I'm damn sure that this person will scot away as usual. So rest assured. So the first news is that JP Morgan Chase India, a US based bank, is currently under investigation. And they are not the only one. Rather, Edelweiss CEO, Mr. Shah, is also being invited by Enforcement Directorate, whereby he spent around more than 5 hours in the Mumbai office of Enforcement Directorate, whereby Enforcement Directorate questioned him about the foreign exchange transaction. And now whatever limited information coming in the public domain from the government sources suggests that now Enforcement Directorate is looking at the net income of the group companies. So all the big names, which is Edelweiss, Ranbaxy Singh Brothers, SRS Group of Chennai, Anil Ambani, Nirav Modi, Subhash Chandra, and now JP Morgan Chase India, and the list is very long. And how and why we can forget Chanda Kochar. Chanda Kochar is being asked by ICICI Bank via an affidavit they filed in a court, honorable court, whereby ICICI Bank asked Chanda Kochar to return the bonuses they paid to Chanda Kochar. I am telling you as a first part of this video because you need to know, you as a country, as an individual, as a youth, right, made them leader, made them as a leader. 5 years before Chanda Kochar was leader, she was getting mementos, 7-star accommodation, business class travel, and almost everything. Subhash Chandra, Anil Ambani, and the list is not short, but I don't have time, I need to cover many things. You as a country, you as a youth make them leaders, and now your country is facing declining GDP on quarter basis. Government indirectly agreed that they don't have the money. The only thing they're left with is to juice out the reserves, RBI do had, or they are forcing public sector concerns to take out more money from the market and pay them as a dividend. All these things not happened because of the wrong decisions of demonetization and GST. Rather, we have made these people as leaders. And now they have proved that the skills they are having, these skills are taking the country down. So it's very good that, and all the young people should be proud that you have made Chanda Kochar, Subhash Chandra, and there are so many people. My second topic is that BMF Wealth Advisors, right? Karvi scandal is yet to resolve. As far as my limited knowledge is concerned, because I was in Singapore for long, so I really do not know whether anyone being arrested in Karvi case or not, but I really doubt anyone is arrested, because else I would have got to know. But more importantly, Karvi case is yet to resolve, and we got another case. And what is this case? BMA Wealth. Now BMA Wealth, they did almost the same thing what Karvi did. It is the client money, client securities, and what they did, they put this as a pledge. Let me read something for you. Disgruntled clients of brokerage BMA Wealth on Monday, which is 16th of December, right, approached the Securities Appellate Tribunal demanding their securities and the funds be credited back to their respective demat accounts. BMA clients also held a protest outside the head office of Security and Exchange Board, SEBI. Initially, the investors were planning to file a complaint with RBI. However, they approached RBI. They were told that they first need to file a complaint with the bank, and then after 15 days, central bank look into the matter. Can I ask the so-called Reserve Bank of India, why do you need 15 days to act on this matter? If the investors are coming to you, and it is not one or two, 45,000 investors, 45,000 investors are coming to you and they are asking you to take an action, then why do you need 15 days to take an action? Can I have one good thing done by RBI as far as the frauds are concerned? Just now PNC Bank fraud happened in Maharashtra, and now we got another bank that got hit in Bangalore. I was watching Times Now a few days ago, and I was almost cried when I saw that thousands of people are waiting in a line wherein we have people over 72, 70 and one lady of over 80 plus, right? And they are waiting to move into the bank to get their money back. What is the mistake of these investors? Is it the mistakes of the investor? They deposited their hard-earned money in these banks and let the bank to juice up their money? This is the mistake? A gentleman who was also interviewed by Times Now, 72-year-old, what is the mistake of that gentleman? A 72-year-old gentleman is standing in a line, only he wants his money back from that bank. This is his mistake. And why RBI do need 15 days to take an action? Such action should have been taken on an upfront basis. You don't need 15 days. And if you are looking for 15 days, this is height of idiocy RBI did. But story not yet ended here. BMA Wealth client requested the SAT, Security Appellate Tribunal, to freeze the assets of all directors of the brokerage and arrest its director Anubhav Bhattar, whom they accused being culprit of the scam. And I am 500% sure that Anupam Bhattar, right? Anubhav Bhattar would definitely be enjoying 7 class, business class travel, 7-star accommodation, personal assistant, that too very beautiful, sorry to say, Mercedes, BMW and everything on this client's money. So remember that previously India saw frauds by banks, corporates, infrastructure leasing and financial services and all these right? Now the wealth management advisors are doing the frauds. The first is the case of the Karvi, which not yet resolved, and now the BMA Wealth. So many congratulations to all of you for glorifying the history of frauds. Many congratulations, and I hope this history would continue. Second, about my favorite company in India, none other than Reliance Industries Limited, because I am thankful to Mr. Ambani that he is the only person who made me confused. Even the best banks in the globe not made me confused. In fact, Monetary Authority of Singapore or anyone not made me confused, but he made me confused. Today when I started reading newspaper, I got to know that Jio is being rated as #1 telecom player in India, and they crossed around 370 million plus the members, the subscribers, and they are #1, practically not in terms of revenue but also in terms of the subscriber base, and they just top up Vodafone. What is the difference? I forget. Difference between Vodafone and Jio. But when I got this news, I was literally amazed. I kept this news at separate kept this news separate, which is known as a juxtaposition testing in English, in forensics, sorry. In the first news, I got to know that EBIT, earning before interest and tax, also known as middle line and also known as operating profit, is for Jio grew by almost 60%. I was confused that Jio claims that it's almost 3 years to their January and they are the profitable telecom in India. By the way, I don't trust Reliance numbers. I really don't trust Reliance numbers because I don't know till what extent how they made this number, and that is my personal view, to be honest. Then I thought that if you are a profitable company, then what is forcing you to sell your tower unit to Brookfield? And it's not 1 crore, 2 crore deal, it is 25,000 crore deal. So I'm really confused that one side, somebody taking me to a 7-star hotel for a dinner. Okay, you take me to 7-star hotel for a dinner. Other side, this person is giving a call to somebody in my front and saying, can you transfer 5,000 rupees to my Paytm account because I need to pay to the hotel? Then how do I treat that person? Can I say that this person is the richest man of Asia? By the way, Reliance debt is more than 4 lakh crores. Do not forget that. Maybe the paid media, maybe the brokerage houses like Nomura, Credit Suisse and all, maybe Morgan Stanley, they don't report that, but we don't dare. Right? We dare to report that. Their total debt is more than 4 lakh crores. And I don't know, before naming him the richest man of the globe, people even look at the balance sheet and see that their debt is more than 4 lakh crores and growing. And growing. His claim of making Reliance a debt-free company by March 2021 stand nowhere today. To be honest. Reliance is just now going to take an additional around $2 billion of debt. And $2 billion in the today, when rupee is 71, is approximately above 14,000 crores. So if today they have about 4 lakh crores of debt, then 14,000 crore add more. So one side, Reliance is claiming that their petrochemical revenue not did well in this quarter. I agree. They are saying that the EBIT of Jio crossed 60%, grew by 60%, and now they are the number 1 telco and the profitable telco. Agree. Another side, when I read this, I got to know that Reliance Industries Investment and Holding, a wholly owned subsidiary of Mukesh Ambani, Reliance Industries Limited, has entered into binding agreements with the Canadian Brookfield Infrastructure Partners LP and its institutional partners for an investment of around 25,000 crores in the telecom tower. Perfect. Closing this transaction is subject to regulatory approval and so on and so forth. Now the scene is like that. In this way, they wanted to take this tower business to somebody. But you are a profitable company. You are the richest man, right? And do not forget that in India, the private equity and the venture capitalist player are started taking a strategic stake. In fact, they have crossed all levels. Blackstone, Brookfield, KKR, I have a lot of names. Please be note that if this trend would continue, probably in 3 years from now, you will see that and you will remember me that India would be managed by the private equity players, those who sit in their air-conditioned rooms somewhere in Europe or probably in the US. And they manage this economy on a TV. They see the news on the TV and they give a phone call and that economy would run here. This is 200% sure. So when anything comes to Reliance Jio, I always sit down with a cool head and think that what they wanted to say. Now let's talk a very good thing, because India on paper, politicians on paper always claim that they are making India an electricity surplus country. They are making India as a renewable country, and a lot of people talks about the green finance. Few politicians got awards also pertaining to the environmental finance. I have something to prove with numbers, because I always talk numbers. That's more important thing in my life. I never speak without numbers. Banks have been wary of lending to the renewable energy sector owing to the 2 trillion worth of non-performing asset in the conventional power sector. Hydro, maybe coal based, maybe both. 2 trillion means 2 lakh crores. It means that the total non-performing asset, which means standard, substandard, doubtful and loss, then come the NPA. It means that the non-performing asset of around 2 lakh crores or maybe more than that is already in the books of bank pertaining to the conventional energy. And now is that the renewable energy sector needs around 550 billion, which is approximately 1/5 of the GDP of the country. For a while, I assume it is $2.7 trillion economy. So 1/5 of the GDP of the country to meet the target of achieving 40% energy requirement from clean by 2030. Today is 2020. It means in additional 10 years, the country needs at least 55 billion every year. If I multiply 55 billion with 7,000 crores, because 1 billion is approximately 7,000, although practically it is more than 7,100 crores, but to make it simplistic, I need at least 3,50,000 crores every year. 3,50,000 crores every year to fund the renewable energy. From where this money will come? You know the bank situation? Should I talk about Yes Bank? We have separate video on Yes Bank soon. You don't have the money, and the renewable sector himself need around $550 billion. Do you think we are in a situation to pay that amount? But politicians make such big claims that they let you believe that everything is going good in the system. That's how the things work. Now let's talk fourth. This is called Camel Story. Before talking this, let me give you a story. Assuming there is a camel who is, I would say there is a camel in a desert who is hungry. Let's take an example. And the owner of that camel already took a huge amount of money from in the form of a loan from the nearest kirana shop or maybe any shop who is giving the food for that camel. So he is not in a situation to take more food for the camel. What happened? A non-wealthy person came and he saw that the person who actually owns that camel, he wanted to sell the camel because he cannot feed him, and he feels that if he cannot feed him, the camel will die soon. So he wanted to sell it out whatever price. Okay, this person buy this camel from whose money? Not his money. The money he took from the shop who sells the camel food. This is India. This is India. And this is an evidence that, few weeks ago we gave an evidence that Security and Exchange Board of India charged 25 lakh rupees as a penalty from the credit rating agencies only because of the fake credit rating or the false credit rating or not doing their duties in ILFS case. Now I'll read for you. Read business newspapers, my friend. You will get to know that how frauds are being shaping up in the system. There is a company called Ruchi Soya, and that company is currently facing the insolvency proceedings. So basically it's an insolvent company. And that Ruchi Soya is supposed to pay around 12,146. So on a flat note, 12,200 crores to various banks, which includes SBI. okay, which includes SBI. Now, care rating. Now, just heard carefully, that will come later. Now, our genius, superstar, Superman, Shri Ramdev Babaji come into the picture. And Shri Ramdev Babaji say, I wanted to buy this company. Okay, buy. He went to NCLT and NCLT court approves the funding, approves the offer of around 4350. Take it 4,400 crores offer, you invest and take this, company Ruchi Soya. But Baba Ramdev don't have the money. That is a surprising piece. You went to NCLT without money. Now Baba Ramdev went to banks. Which banks? SBI. And SBI ready to give 4,000 crores. Not 1 crore, 2 crore, 4,000 crores. Along with another public sector banks for the acquisition of Ruchi Soya. So in this story, who is the camel? Ruchi Soya. Who is the kirana shop? SBI. When this kirana shop was not been able to get the loan which he already gave to the original owner of the camel, and the value of the loan is 12,146 crores, then why it giving another funding of 4,000 crores to Shri Ramdev Babaji, who is the second owner of that camel, to buy the same camel? But I know there are many people on the YouTube, those who go in the left side of the YouTube and put the thumbs down. Do I care? Definitely not. Name one business channel, CNBC, NDTV, ET Now and all, who give 1 hour debate on these topics. That a bank who already landed for 12,000, roughly 150 crores to a company who is bankrupt. That bank is taking a 65% haircut, which means that after every 100 rupees, they are going to lose around 65 and get 35. That bank now giving additional funding. So the first funding not yet recovered. They are giving additional funding of 4,000 crore to a third party whose name is Baba Ramdev, who wanted to come into the picture and buy the same camel. Now, how do I treat this? I have no words. I cannot say this is a siphoning of money. I cannot say this is a fraud, because the word which I have, I cannot tell in the public domain, but I am damn sure there is something we have in the system which is cooking up, not coming in the public domain probably soon. Because even a banker who is 10th fail will not give the funding of additional 4,000 crore to another corporate whose sales is falling. Patanjali. They are facing regulatory issue and they are facing the issue about the quality of their product, to buy a company who is already insolvent. But this can only happen in India. And only India is the only country whereby the business channel will never discuss this. Because they are busy in Jio, they are busy targeting Vodafone. In fact, if you ask me, I have found no difference between Aaj Tak or Indian channels versus business channels. Because previously, till 1-2 years before, I used to believe that the business channels in India are actually doing their duty good. They are telling something which, in fact, media also not tell in business domain. But now, when I look at specifically Bloomberg Quint, I get to know that they have a fixed agenda. That from morning 9 a.m. till evening 9 p.m. or probably 11 p.m. you need to or you need to repeat one name of corporate again and again and make a glorified figure of that corporate, so that even an investor who tend to feel that this corporate is not good, a debt ridden corporate, he will buy that security. So now I do not see any difference between the English business channels and the Hindi channels, because both are doing the same duty. The only thing business channels currently do not do, they do not enter into Hindu-Muslim debate. God knows 2 years down the line they also start doing this. Because I have not saw any business channel who talked about BMF Wealth seriously, who talked about this siphoning of money, who talked about NBFC issue, about renewables, and who talked about the Jio versus Brookfield. Let's take this further. That I will take this later, so I keep this aside because that's very important actually. Now comes Shri Ritesh Agarwal ji, who turned 30. I do not know when is Ritesh Agarwal birthday, but I would like to wish him happy birthday in advance for the next year. Because the work Ritesh Agarwal did, no one can did in this whole globe. He first made a fake company, whereby majority of the vendors are fake. People are filing police complaints, but police is not taking action. Few people joined hand and they decided to move to to file a CBI complaint, maybe class action lawsuit. Oyo fired 1,000 people officially last week. Apart from that, they decided to close 3 out of 4 cloud kitchens in India, whereby the limited information coming and saying that Oyo is letting about 150 plus people to go in the cloud kitchens. I'm talking about a concept cloud kitchen which is yet to be fully reached to potential by Amazon, to be honest, by Swiggy, Zomato, the loss-making companies. But Ritesh Agarwal, the most visionary businessman of the globe, whose company is in deep losses, the company who claimed to be a 10 billion company, a 10 billion company never fire people. A 10 billion company rather add people. A 10 billion company never close 3 out of 4 cloud kitchens you made. In this whole economy, VC economy, we have reached to a level, and by the way, I don't know you know or not, but Paytm started moving towards zero revenue model. Few days ago, when I was reading newspaper, I got to know that you do this transaction of the Paytm and no commission is being charged. I wanted to ask from Vijay Shekhar Sharma that what is your business model? You started with the mobile wallet and today you are moving to start mutual fund commission business, which I am sure you've not been able to do in the right way. Every year you report losses, and last year you report around 4,000 crores of losses, and this time when Mr. Ambani is heading towards e-commerce, the Paytm mall would end up significant losses. I am telling you. And the great visionary person who made the valuation of Paytm and said that by 2021 or 22, Paytm would be profitable. I will ask him that how Paytm would be profitable. From Ola to Uber to Swiggy to Zomato, from Delhi Valley to Lenskart to Paytm to Oyo. And the list is very long. Everybody is in deep losses. How long this will go, I don't know. And today I got a shocker, literally a shocker, when I was reading an article. I got to know that Softbank founder decided to invest around $38 billion in Indonesian capital. This article was small, not much information being provided, but in this last week I read 2 articles about Softbank. Number 1 article that they earned pennies on their dollars investment because the majority of their investment is in losses, and in fact huge losses. And also I got to know that Softbank is investing around, they gave an offer to Indonesia to invest around 38 to 40 billion dollars in their capital. how can you expect that bank to be profitable if such kind of portfolio you have, which is huge loss making? You still think that Ritesh Agarwal is really a businessman? You still think that Indian regulators would continue to sleep and do not take any action on Ritesh Agarwal and make this as Yes Bank second? You still believe that Ritesh Agarwal let flee the country and maybe enjoy his vacations or permanent living in Europe and let run Oyo from Europe so that if anything would happen, no one can touch him? What are we waiting for? Fake hotel booking, last time cancellation, frauds with hotel in their contracts, firing of 1000 employees, closing of 3 out of 4 cloud kitchens, and this list is very long. Are Indian regulators is really to take any action, or you know what I wanted to say? Choice is ours. So before making Chanda Kochar as a leader, before making Rana Kapoor as a leader, Ravneet Gill as a leader, Shikha Sharma as a leader, and the list is humongous, just think that whom are we making leader? Now let's talk about Competition Commission of India and watchdog. A watchdog. Boss, tell me one thing. I just wanted to make this simple to Competition Commission of India. Do you really know for what you're being made? You are filing a complaint or come an investigation on Amazon and also on the Flipkart because they went with deep discount, they went anti-competitive in simplistic language. But do you think what Jio did is right? Do you think a telecom player entering into the market offering everything free only because he holds a petrochemical business and he can afford the losses for years? That is legal? Only because you are going for Amazon and Flipkart because Mr. Ambani wanted to enter into the e-commerce business. And he himself knows that he cannot beat Amazon because the firepower Amazon hold, he do not hold. So Competition Commission of India is currently acting like a body whereby they only wanted to target Amazon specifically, in fact not to the Flipkart or maybe Flipkart, only because they wanted to clear the road for Ambanis. This is how the regulatory agencies are actually working. Whereby they know that one company is violating law over law. And rather than going to them and asking why you are violating and what penalties we can put to you, they are targeting a company, Amazon, who invested $6.5 billion in India till now. $6.5 billion. So even if I take 70 rupees as a rate, around 30,000, over 30,000 crores is being invested by Amazon till now. And investigation is being formed and now this case is under review only because they wanted to see that how we can remove Amazon from the path of Ambani's so that the whole e-commerce of India would be handled by one corporate, and then 1 kg of rice, which is currently at 7 rupees for a minute, would be 70 rupees and people will say, oh wow. But no bloody business channel having an ability to come and asking this question that why are you not targeting the Jio? I have not seen ET Now, NDTV Profit or anyone to discuss that. Because they also have a set agenda. And from 9 a.m. in the morning till 11 p.m. in the night, then the repeated shows, they work on the same agenda. And this is how it happens. But we are not worried. Let comes to the topics, which is Indian bond market. And in this I got the data that the Indian government debt to GDP ratio, which I always doubt the figures are quoted right or wrong, to be honest, is highest even if I compare with South Africa, Malaysia, Mexico, China, Thailand, Turkey, Indonesia and Russia. Russia is the lowest. So debt to GDP ratio is lowest for Russia, followed by Indonesia, Turkey, then Thailand, then China, and then Mexico, and then Malaysia, South Africa, and then India. So for your information, that the debt to GDP ratio of India is much higher, and the only two countries that are higher than India is Brazil and Argentina. So here again we made a record. That's it. This is how the life goes, you know. When we did not bother to talk about the numbers, we not bother to talk about the facts and figures. We don't need newspapers, but what we really do is that we watch those channels, those who start from 9 a.m. till 11 p.m. with a set agenda. Guys, do you know that the nominal GDP of India is being dropped, including inflation? Do you know? Do you know that the fixed income assets are declining? The private investments is all-time low compared to 2011. Did you ever got a chance to look at these statistics? Just check it out. You would get to know that India is not away from recession, India is in recession. The only thing is that India do not acknowledge till the last moment. And when India acknowledges, then India is gone. And I'm telling you that if this trend will continue, then one thing is sure, that the international rating agency is forced to cut the rating of India. And by the way, India rating is BBB minus. That is also a fact. So they would be forced to cut the rating of India, which is already BBB minus, and one notch down you got C rating, and then the D. D stands for default. But don't worry, everything will be good. All is well, all is well. Amir Khan, you know. And next come the big mess which is being created. I'm keeping this aside because we could talk about later. We have a mess which is nothing but the mess politically created in the telcos when Vodafone and Airtel together need to pay around 86,000 crores as AGR, which includes penalties and principal payment both. And I really don't think that Vodafone, out of which needs to pay around 51,000 crore, and rest roughly 34-35 is to be payable by Airtel. Airtel recently raised around $3 billion. Out of $3 billion, $2 billion they raised via QIP, and rest $1 billion they raised via the dollar bonds. They said that the dollar bonds are priced at 1.5% coupon, which I doubt. Considering that Airtel, which is already in a huge debt because of Zion acquisition, and asset monetization is definitely an issue for Airtel, having a foreign currency convertible bond of 1 billion at 1.5% maturing 2025, which is around 5 years from now, is definitely not possible. I really doubt that. I need to see. But anyways, this is being quoted here. More importantly, what is also quoted here, that Airtel raised $11 billion in the last 5 years selling equities. I read that for you. With the completion of the latest fundraising exercise, which is $2 billion, around 14,000 crores, Airtel has raised a total of 11 billion in equity capital over the last 5 years. We also understand that as India is facing liquidity crisis, and government really not interested to acknowledge that, but we know that India as a country is facing the liquidity crisis. In that regards, the company is left with very limited option. We have just saw that Biani Group, the future retail, raised around $500 million, which is around 3,500 crores via the dollar bonds. Manipuram Group and along with multiple groups raised the dollar bonds. In one of the videos, we have already quoted that the dollar bonds issuances is all-time high. Now dollar bonds have a limit, international market have a limit. Now what people are doing, the QIP, which is the only option they left with. And God knows after QIP they left with another option, which is right issue. Maybe the bonus issue, I do not know, but one thing I know, that the liquidity crisis has entrenched India in such a way that corporates are okay for any options now. They're open for any options. Either it is QIP, it is a joint venture, it is a debt. Guys, by the way, you should know that Tata Group is also in touch with Chinese automobile player to form a joint venture or any other alternate where they can reduce their debt. Remember this. And also note very carefully that today General Motors quitted India. Now General Motors do not have any business operations in India. Their last plant somewhere in Maharashtra, they sold to the Great Wall Motors of China. So China automobile company bought the last plant of General Motors. Now a very good achhe din is there that General Motors do not have any new business in India. General Motors is history in India. An international automobile company who sell automobile in US and Europe and to an extent Southeast Asia do not have any presence in India. But don't worry, no business channel will cover that I assure you. On Monday morning when you open the business channel, you get the same story that Jio, maybe Airtel, maybe few stories. By the time 11 p.m. then same stories will repeat. But the issue of this telco is getting linger very more because there is a big probability that Vodafone will crash, and of course because 51,000 to 52,000 crore payment in a week's time is impossible for Vodafone, specifically at the time when they are already having 1.25 trillion, which is 1,25,000 crore of debt in the books. You already have 1,25,000 crore of debt, and if I add another 51, then God knows where Vodafone would end up. SBI having the highest exposure of 11,200 crore, followed by IndusInd Bank around 4,000 crore, followed by IDFC 2,500, ICICI Bank around 1,725, and PNB 1,000 crores. Source is the Goldman Sachs. So if Vodafone will collapse, it will not only lead to the duopoly in the telecom market, and I'm sure Reliance would raise the price not less than by 40%. And this is what they want. And this is what the political game is going on, to be honest. Let it be straight. And if this would happen, the banks would lose. They are not worried. Airtel will lose. They are not worried. And importantly, 5 years down the line, God knows Jio would be the only telecom player we left with in India. Whereby if you wanted to have anything, you need to have Jio. Simple, no other option. I do not know, but we are moving towards that. But I am damn sure that Competition Commission of India will do not see this, because for Competition Commission of India, the only one who violated the who went anti-competitive is Amazon. Except Amazon, everything is good in the system. And by the way, if Vodafone will crash, there are multiple schemes that would also crash, which includes the Nippon, Franklin, and UTI and Birla. I myself acknowledge that our company also invested in UTI, and it was the bad decision we made. UTI is one of the third class asset management companies we have. The last thing, let's talk about something very important. And this is last, by the way. Assume there is a camel, and there is a camel at the back of second camel. So I say camel 1, camel 2. Camel 2 is sitting like this on the back of camel 1. All of a sudden there is third camel came into the picture who sits at the back of camel 2. Just imagine or visualize that scene in your mind. 3 camels, or in fact 1 camel who is walking on the road. The back of his camel you have camel 2, and the back of camel 2 you have camel 3. Can it be possible? Practically not. You're wrong. It's already there. It's already there. It's happening. But once again, we don't read business newspapers, so how do we know? Let me read for you. Multi-manager fund of funds, Axis all season debt fund would be open for subscription on 22nd January. It's a first kind of Indian debt space which is fund of funds. Guys, do you know where fund of funds invest? What is fund of funds and how it works? An asset management company, when they take money from investor, they create a portfolio. I agree that most of the people in the mutual fund do not know how to see the portfolio. I fully agree with that, but to an extent they know, right? What would if that mutual fund AMC, asset management company, rather than creating a fresh portfolio, they invest in a portfolio of another company, another AMC? So who is Camel 1? You decide. And who is Camel 2? You decide. And who is the third camel? You decide. Rather than discussing this issue seriously, that we are living in an economy where the corporates are falling like a trash of cards. When the corporates are vulnerable, when they are having a huge debt, Adanis, Ambanis, you name them. Is fund of fund structure is the right structure for India? When we have the frauds like this, Ruchi Soya, the BMF Wealth and number one, is the fund of fund structure is the right approach? Why SEBI permitted Axis Bank to have fund of fund approach? Can I take a fresh money from an investor and put it in another fund? Just think over it. Remember that, and this is the last thing, that we are living in a times when the business news are not presented in a way it should be. So you need to comprehend that. And more importantly, not only comprehend that, if you look at the business channels, apart from Bloomberg TV, most of the times you get to know that they have a right and set agenda. And they are working for that set agenda. And I'm telling you, if these things would continue, the day is not far when people will lose the hopes from business channel also. In fact, to be honest, I have lost hopes on all business channels. The only one I see is the Bloomberg TV. Apart from Bloomberg TV, I don't see any business channel. Really, I see the Bloomberg Quint, and that too in the night, just to see what happened in India, just to see their agenda, to be honest. The very good thing, and we thank you very much for your patience and your time, which is that there is a very good article that came in the newspaper, and I thank you to Sandeep Khanna ji for writing this article, because whenever I feel that the articles are good, we always appreciate that person. So I once again thank you to Sandeep Khanna ji for, he is the former executive editor of the Mint, for writing this article. He wrote a very good article, to be honest, and I really love that. I keep this with me. He said that today we are living in two economies, and number one is an attention economy and number two is the knowledge economy. I think he's right. And he said that knowledge is not everybody's cup of tea, so majority of the people wanted to go in attention economy. Just like Mrs. Indira Gandhi, the late Prime Minister, Honorable Prime Minister of India, and a lady I always love, the Iron Lady, to be honest. The Iron Lady of India said that there are two kind of people, one who create and one who copy. He said that in this first, there is an empty shortage of first kind of people, and we have huge second kind of people. So choice is yours, where you want it to be. Mrs. Gandhi went for option number one, and that is the reason even after so many years, the young generation who never met Mrs. Gandhi but always have a deep respect for Mrs. Gandhi, because the way he handled the situation at that point of time is exemplary. As a lady, he stood alone and handled the situation. I hats off to him. He handled multiple wars multiple wars for India, and as a lady, the way she handled is exemplary. Because she went for knowledge economy. She not went for attention economy. But today politicians are attention economy. They're not worried. And Sandeep Khanna rightly pointed out one thing which I really wanted to say is that I just wanted to read it for you. There is an entire marketplace for attention in which companies count their success in the number of employees, number of eyebrows they manage to raise, rather the profits they make. Which is why Tesla, which is yet to report an annual profit, and by the way, do you know that in 2015, Tesla was in loss, 16 Tesla was in loss, 17 Tesla was in loss, 18 again in loss, and I'm damn sure 19 once again in loss. Which is why Tesla, which is yet to report an annual profit, has marked a market cap of around 89 billion, more than the sum of General Motors and Ford respective market caps. And Uber, which almost lost around $1 billion in the last quarter. Here I would like to correct Sandeep Khanna is that Uber lost 5 billion also in a quarter. So Uber lost more than 1 billion in a quarter. But anyways, I agree with Sandeep that more or less they lost 1 billion in a quarter. That Uber, which lost over $1 billion in the last quarter alone, has a market cap of around $59 billion. While the world's largest American Airlines, with a fleet size of 956 aircraft, and the annual capacity of around 257 million seats, 257 million seats, has a market cap of 1/5 of that, which is approximately 10 to 12 billion dollars something. So Sandeep is practically very right that we are living in a times when we are distracted, and which is known as the social media, which is known as the social noise, or I call this as digital noise. And Sandeep is very right that we are living in a time when we have two options. Either we go with the attention economy or we go with the knowledge economy. And Sandeep is also right in saying one thing, that knowledge is not everybody's cup of tea. So of course people prefer to go with attention economy than going for a knowledge economy, because here you need to work. But as a company, we decided, or as an individual, we always go with the knowledge economy. We don't go with the attention economy. For me, it really doesn't matter how many views it will come on my YouTube videos. It doesn't matter how many people like it and how many people dislike that, how many people comment that, because I know one thing, that I am shooting a content which only few people, the classes, wanted to see, not the masses. And I always shoot my videos for class. I never shoot for the mass. So I thank you, Sandeep, for raising a very good point. In fact, he also enlightened me. Rarely I get such good articles in the media that when you get an enlightenment about very good thing, which is this. And in fact, yesterday also Nadella, the Microsoft CEO, also wrote a very good article about AQ. And I have not yet read this. Once let me read and give my opinion. I think we still left with few good people in the industry, those who think carefully and they have good mindset. Thank you for them. And to be honest, with this we thank you very much, and I hope that you get to know one thing, that frauds will definitely continue in India in 2020. People like Chanda Kochar, Rana Kapoor, Ritesh Agarwal, Bhavesh Agarwal, Sachin Bansal, Binny Bansal, and all these great would considered as leaders, I'm sure, 500%. The frauds which started from banks, which moved to corporate, and from corporate to JP Morgan Chase India, Amarpali Group, and now it is going to BMF Wealth, which is brokerage houses. Now a normal investor who invests his cash in a brokerage house cannot sleep because he do not know whether his security is being already pledged or not. He do not know. And last but not the least, a very good fact said by Sandeep, that the world is not only being misguided but also moving towards attention economy, who do not know what is the right definition of profit, or what is profit in fact. With this, we thank you very much, and We believe in knowledge economy. We don't believe in attention economy. And have a great day. You know my mobile number, which is +91 9899242978. I have an alternate mobile number of Airtel also, which is available on our fixed income platform www.fixedincome.global. To conclude this video, Treasury Consulting will assure you that we are heading as a bank, and we're not worried about the feedback of the people, because we make videos for class, not for mass. Let people say what they wanted to say, because I cannot shoot a video which please 130 crore people.